Good morning and welcome to our Sunday centering. Please join in listening to our opening song.
All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the night time till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. Seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. Seems like I've been here before, I can't remember when, but I got this funny feeling that we'll all be together again. No straight lines make up my life, and all my roads have bends. There's no clear-cut beginnings, and so far no dead ends. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the night time till the daybreak comes around. And all my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. Seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. I've found you 1,000 times, I guess you've done the same. 'Cause then we lose each other, it's just like some children's game. And as I find us here again, the thought runs through my mind that our love is like a circle, so let's go round one more time. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the night time till the daybreak comes around. And all my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. Seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. And we're singing, all my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the night time till the daybreak comes around. And all my life's a circle, I can't tell you why. Seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by.
Today, our service is about celebration. Please join me in our opening prayer. Creator, thank you for joy and delight, for the wonders and awe, for the moments of gladness and celebration. Grant me the ability to breathe gentleness into my hours and seasons, so that I live awake to beauty, to holiness, to radiance that surrounds us. Grant me the wisdom to arrive each day with passion and humor, with song and dance, with smiling eyes, in service to myself in service to others, in service to your divine name. And now it is time for our reading. Much of the urgency that you have felt these last years, moving between the stress and de-stress, the sense of living in an outmoded condition, the exhilaration before what is not yet, the dread of leaving the womb of the old era, comes from the birth pangs of social evolution that is upon us. Birth is a journey. Second birth is as great a journey. Thus, the returning theme in many of the world's scriptures: unless you be born again, you cannot enter the kingdom. New birth requires new being. It means laying down new pathways in the senses to take in the news of this remarkable world. It means extending the field of your psychology so that there is more of you to do so much of this. New birth demands that you choose a richer, juicier story, even a new myth, by which to comprehend your life, that you begin to live out of it. And most important of all, it asks that you be sourced and resourced in God, Spirit, the love that moves the sun and all of the stars. Let us pause for a moment to reflect upon that reading. And now join me in our words of affirmation. Open our eyes, Lord, as we walk through this world. Feel the wind and sunshine. See the majesty of creation unfolding before our eyes. Help us to see you. And now it is time for my message this week, and today we're going to center on Memorial Day. Memorial Day is upon us at the end of this weekend, and for some that signifies the beginning of summer, although summer usually begins in June, but by popular opinion we think that summer begins on Memorial Day. So there are three things to remember as we face Memorial Day. First, we remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice, and that's really what Memorial Day is all about. It was put into place to remember those who died in service to our country to give us freedom. And that's very important to remember at Memorial Day. And then we also think about our loved ones and those that have passed away. Many people take an opportunity to remember them or go to the cemetery and think about the loved ones, the generations that loved us into being, or those who are a part of our history. So that's the second kind of thing about Memorial Day. And the third thing that we often reflect upon are our memories of the past Memorial Days. The Memorial Days that came before this one. Maybe they are the Memorial Days of childhood, or the Memorial Days of our youth, or the Memorial Days in the past couple of years. So those memories we often reflect upon. And the fourth thing that we look at on this Memorial Day is available to us because of the other three, because of our veterans, because of our loved ones, because of our memories. We have the fourth one, which is freedom. Freedom. We have the freedom to be free, the freedom to go around. And I know there's a lot of oppression and there's a lot of difficulty in our world today. However, we do have it a lot better than a lot of other people. So we should celebrate this freedom that we have. And because we have freedom, and it's a gift to us, What do we do with this freedom? Where do we go from here? It's always a choice. It's a choice of how we use our freedom. Now, maybe we don't have freedom from everything. Maybe we have some financial difficulties, or maybe we have some relationship issues, or maybe we have some health issues. But it's important to focus on the things that we do have freedom in and make our choices accordingly. So dream with me for a moment. We've had beautiful weather all week. The sun has been shining. Things are starting to brighten up a little bit in our world. Dream. With freedom, what is it that you have on your bucket list to do? What are some of the things that you have on your bucket list? Maybe, like so many other people, you've been so busy with life that you haven't even thought about what's on your bucket list. So just pause for a moment and think about, what are some things that you would like to do? And I know that you can think of some of those things after too, because our Sunday centering just begins the conversation for the week. It is not the beginning and the ending. So think about what's on your bucket list. You have the freedom now to accept things as you add things to your list. Accept the way life is. And then that opens the door to see what else is possible. You have the freedom to let go of some things in your life. And when you let go of some things, it makes room for other opportunities. So first, you can accept things, and then you open the door for other opportunities. Then you let go of things, and you open the door for other opportunities. Then you have the freedom to rest. You know, life is a journey, not a race. Everybody gets to where they get at their own pace, or they should. We don't always remember that. I'm guilty of that a lot myself. So we have the freedom to rest. We go along on our goal, but if we need time to sit on the bench, just relax a little bit, we have that. And sometimes when we're sitting there on the bench, we notice something that we never saw before, and maybe it takes us in a new direction. So again, that opens the door for opportunities. We have the freedom to acknowledge our past. And I want you to think about those words, to acknowledge our past. Sometimes we have things in our past that we don't want to think about. We want to forget those things. But you know, just denial and putting those things aside can get us into a lot of trouble. So not that we have to live in the past or the same way that we lived in the past, but what we have to do is at least acknowledge it. We acknowledge that it happens, and then we have freedom to move forward from that. We accept it, and we move on. So, as I mentioned, there's the beautiful sun out there and nature, and I think that nature is really an inspiration for us, for this new life, this new growth, this new hope. We're seeing it all over the place, new buds on the trees, new flowers. So that reminds us that it's the time, summer is the time for us to go forward and to grow. I started by talking a little bit about Memorial Day. And one of the really cool things about Memorial Day is that you'll sometimes see the veterans, they are selling their poppies. And where does this tradition come from? Well, the tradition of the poppies came after the First World War, when there were all of the fallen soldiers upon the field. And when the general looked out to the field where the fallen soldiers were, and he was remembering it, he saw that the field was covered with poppies, red poppies on the field. And he was so moved. You know, some of you may be familiar with the poem in Flanders Field, and that's what it's about. Just that awe of looking out. The interesting thing about the poppy is that it is a symbol of hope from nature in and of itself. because poppy seeds land on the ground, but in order to germinate, they have to be disturbed. So that is why they were the first things to grow after the battle. They were the first things on the field because the battle disrupted those poppy seeds. And so that allowed them to germinate and grow. And that is why the veterans will have the poppies available for a donation for Memorial Day and for Veterans Day. And that is such a beautiful way to support their work, to wear a poppy and to say that, thank you for your service. Veterans Day remembers our veterans that are alive. Memorial Day remembers our veterans that are deceased, that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. So when you see the poppy, remember that, and remember for yourself what it means. It means that if there wasn't a change or a disruption, those poppies wouldn't have germinated and grown all over. So make Memorial Day the starting point for your new life. Think about all of the things that you can do, all of the things that you are opening opportunities for to put on your bucket list, and go forward, as I say every week, with joy and thoughtfulness and open to the possibilities. And thank you for joining me for that part of the message. And now, this is the time in our service where we have our joys and concerns. But in light of the fact that we are recognizing Memorial Day, it's not a day to celebrate, but it's a day of remembrance and gratitude. So I'm sure we have some veterans here with us today, living veterans we're celebrating, and maybe we have ancestors or someone we really love who is a veteran. So we're going to play the songs for all the branches of the service in our little medley. And then I invite you to stand if you are a veteran when you hear your song, or to stand for the song of a loved one. And some of you come from very military families. You may stand through the whole song. So I invite you to listen to the song and stand when the time comes. I wish I could be with you in person so that I could applaud. I can't, but I thank you for your service, and I thank you for the service of your loved ones and the support that you have given them. Truly, that's what gives us all freedom on this day.
In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. In Flanders fields the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing flies scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
And now it is the part in our service with the joys and concerns. But because of the YouTube format, that comes at the end. So I'm just going to explain to you what that is. The joys and concerns, or the prayers and petitions, is a part of our service where we think about the things in our life that we'd like to let go. As I said, we're letting go of some things so we can open up the possibility, so we can embrace the freedom that has been given to us. So what are the things that we need to let go? Maybe we need to let go some of that denial. Maybe we need to let go some of those names that we call ourselves. Maybe we need to let go the thought that we need to be busy all the time. Maybe we need to let go of the excuses that we have not to nourish our body with good food and exercise. Well, you would know what it is that you need to let go of. So we say those out loud, and we'll do that after the service when there's a little bit more time to share that together. And then the other part of it is those joys, those things that we have in our life that are distinct to us. Maybe it's great family. Maybe it is pride that we were part of the military service. Maybe it is the freedom here to be in America. Maybe it's the joy to be at the hospital and receiving the care that you need. So maybe it's the joy of summer, and you're somebody who really flourishes with the light. So those joys and concerns will be shared after the service. At this point, I'm just going to read a prayer about joy. Joy is a prayer. Joy is strength. Joy is love. Joy is a net of love by which you can catch souls. And that's Mother Teresa. And now I would like you to join me in our final blessing. And it is a communal blessing. It's by an anonymous author, but I think it's very beautiful. With every breath I take today, I vow to be awake. With every step I take, I vow to take with a grateful heart, so I may see with eyes of love into the hearts of all I meet, to ease their burden when I can, and touch them with a smile of peace. And now I will conclude with a final blessing to you, and it's about peace. And if you want to, you can kind of move your hands and go along with me, and it says, deep peace of the running waves to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. Deep peace. May you go forth and have a wonderful week. Thank you for being with me. Now enjoy our closing song, and then don't forget to have the time for the joys and concerns and prayers and petitions.